Welcome to the Happier and Healthier podcast. I'm your host, Maria Marlowe, and this is a place where we don't rely on good luck or good genes for our health and happiness, but rather we create it with our thoughts and our actions each and every single day. Each week, I'll bring you a thought or a guest that will help you live your happiest and healthiest life. Are you ready? Welcome back to the Happier and Healthier podcast. Today's guest, Neda Varbanova of Healthy with Nedi, is going to be sharing her tips for eating healthy while constantly traveling and on the go. She travels more than I do, so she really has some great tips for staying on track even when you are out of your element and you're not always at home and in your routine. Now, before we jump into today's interview, I do have one very exciting announcement and timely announcement. On October 17th, Neda and I will be hosting a cooking demo in Soho in New York City, teaching you how to make quick, healthy, and of course delicious dinners that are on your table in 25 minutes or less. We're going to be showing you how to make Asian-style salmon with roasted broccolini, lemon pepper cod with tricolor cauliflower rice, and this is one of my favorite go-to weeknight recipes, and also hearts of palm pasta with shrimp and zucchini. These are all great examples of complete meals that you could whip up quickly after a long day at work when you don't really feel like cooking or you don't know what to cook. As a bonus, all participants are also going to get a list of our favorite grocery staples that you can keep stocked in your kitchen at all times so that you always have something nutritious and delicious to whip up. So even if you're traveling a lot and then you get back after a week or two of being away, having these pantry staples on hand will help you whip up a healthy meal quickly and easily without having to resort to takeout. Now you're also going to get a goodie bag filled with products from some of our favorite food brands. The menu is completely dairy, gluten, and refined sugar free. You can get tickets at mariamarlowe.com. Simply scroll down to the event section on the homepage and you'll be able to learn more and reserve your seat. There's a limited seating though, and we've already sold out a third of the tickets because we just announced it on Instagram. So make sure that you get your ticket today because this will sell out. Neda and I look forward to seeing you at the event on the 17th and meeting so many of you guys. And now, without further ado, here is our interview. Today, I'm here with Neda Varbanova, aka Healthy with Nedi. Neda is a certified health coach, holds a master's degree in food studies from NYU, and is the creator of healthywithnedi.com, a food, nutrition, and lifestyle website filled with healthy recipes and tips to live your healthiest life. We connected a few years ago on Instagram, and we have a lot in common, and I just really love that she showcases a healthy lifestyle in the context of still having a real life. She travels a ton, she eats out a lot, she has a great social life, yet she still manages to keep up her healthy habits. So I invited her here today to share some of her insights so that you can see that having a life and being healthy are not mutually exclusive. So thanks for being here, Neda.
Thank you for having me. You're so sweet.
Well, it's true. You know, I love looking at Neda's Instagram. I always want to call her Nedi because it's like healthy.
It's okay. People are like, are you Neda or is it Nedi?
Yeah.
And
I just want to call you Healthy with Nedi, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Healthy with Nedi. I'm curious, like, I love looking at your Instagram because you really show that you do have a social life. And I think some of the common excuses I always get, like why people can't hold up healthy habits, is because they're like, oh, I travel a ton, or I eat out a lot for work, or I have a social life. All of these things they use as excuses, but you don't use them as an excuse. So we're gonna get into that. But first, let's just start with, what's your food philosophy?
okay, so my food philosophy has to be to eat real food most of the time, avoid packaged foods, focus on a lot of greens, fruits, and I also really think what is important is if you're craving something, like if you want to have pizza, go have cauliflower crust pizza. That's so easy to make. Or you can have zucchini noodles instead of pasta. Or if you're out for dinner, for example, and you're having sushi, you can have sushi wrapped in cucumber with no rice. So I think it's really all about balance, and that's the way to live a healthy lifestyle.
Totally. And it's all just about upgrading our choices, right? I love
Yeah.
that you said that. Like, if you like pizza, have a cauliflower crust pizza. And you don't have to deprive yourself. It's just that you're using better ingredients.
Yeah, there's always better choices out there.
Totally. My personal experience, and I know a lot of people that are in the health and nutrition industry, they actually grew up with really bad diets. But you have a different story. You actually grew up on a real food diet. You grew up in Bulgaria, and your mom cooked a ton. And then you moved to the States when you were younger.
Yeah, I was 11 when we moved here.
Yeah. And then what happened when you got here? I know you were probably shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked because we never had a hot pocket or anything frozen or a Pop Tart, for example. So those are all things that I saw when I first moved here, and I was I was curious, but I was all confused as well. And we would get them, my sister and I, just to try, and we're like, okay, this is junk. Like, it doesn't taste good. You're hungry an hour after that, it's just no good. And my mom didn't really let us eat stuff like that. She just always cooked for us. Um, Even, if she was busy working and she would come home, she would always just whip up a salad and a soup, or she would make stuffed peppers, something like this. And I remember my friends loved coming over to sleep over when we were younger. And that was a big thing for them, because I think a lot of them were used to having, pizza or chicken fingers if they did sleepovers at their houses, because, a lot of moms are busy and they didn't have time to make something homemade, and it's just easier.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been a shock. I mean, I know if I went to your house, I'd probably be like, I don't want to go back because I was like addicted to all of the junk and processed food. So I wasn't ready for that back then. But no, that's great that you grew up on real food, right? Because that is what.
Yeah, and I think that's just what I'm accustomed to. I'm not saying I haven't tried eating anything else. I have, but it's not really like what I like or what I crave.
Right. And I think after you get used to eating real food, you realize that the processed food doesn't actually taste good and it
Yeah,
doesn't make you feel good. So you don't feel deprived that you're not eating it. You just actually don't want it.
exactly.
Let's fast forward a bit. You're a certified health coach. I know you also interned for Tanya Zuckerbrot, who's a really well-known dietitian here. You just graduated NYU in the food studies program. So tell us a little bit about professional wise, like what you're doing. And I'm curious, you interned with Tanya, why you didn't go the RD route and why you chose food studies instead.
Okay, so my undergrad was in business and marketing, and I did that. I graduated from that like 4 years ago, and then I took basically like a year off, and I was trying to decide what should I do next. And that's when I found about the nutrition school, and I did the health coaching program for 1 year. I loved it, and I still wanted to do something else too. And getting my master's in food studies was great. I did look into doing an RD program, but another 4 years and then doing a residency just really seemed like a lot. So I was like, okay, 6 years of school for me is enough, plus an additional year of health coaching. Like, that's still 7 years of studying. So I'm happy with that. And when I was in my undergrad, I interned for Tanya, and we met at a dinner. She loved me, I love her, and she was like, "You have to come work for me." I was like, "Well, I can't work for you because I'm still in school, but I'll come intern." And I love interning. She's such an amazing, woman, and so professional. I learned a lot, and we became very close friends. And now we're doing a partnership where I created a recipe ebook for them. So I tailor all the recipes to fit into her step one diet, which means that all the recipes are under 35 grams of net carbs, and they're high in fiber, low in carb, and I'm pretty sure all the followers that she has and I have are going to go crazy about it. And we're releasing the ebook the end of May. So excited.
So she's also someone who has a great social life and is not, staying home cooking every single day. So let's talk a little bit about that. How do you still eat healthy while you're eating out? Like, what are some of your tips for someone who does eat out a lot? How do you still stay healthy?
Yeah, I think I have quite a few tips in this since I go out so much. Um, and it's very important to realize that you can go out while you're on a diet, and you don't need to overeat, or you just have to order better. So I always say skip the bread basket. If the waiter comes and I see him coming, I just say no, thank you before it even touches the table. Because if you're hungry, you might start nibbling it, and there's just empty carbs. Start with the salad. I usually ask for dressing on the side, or I'll get a little bit of olive oil and fresh lemon. And then I love sharing. So for me, sharing is caring. And especially when I'm with friends or with my boyfriend, we'll get a couple of appetizers, like maybe a arugula salad, a tuna tartare, and a lentil salad. And we'll share that. And then we'll split one entree because most portions are really big. So even if you're having a piece of fish, it's probably like 6 to 7 ounces, which is huge. And I think sharing that is more than enough. And with that, we'll get some other sides like green beans or broccoli or sauteed spinach. And I think if you really want dessert, then have a dessert, but have 2 3 bites, and that's it. Like just taste it, so you're not depriving yourself, and you didn't miss out on something.
Right. Yeah, and the sharing is great.
Yeah.
Like then everyone gets a little taste, and that's all you need.
And if you're, for example, at a sushi restaurant, I usually always skip the rice because 2 rolls can be equivalent to 6 slices of white bread, which is unbelievable, and not many people know that. So I'll get my rolls wrapped in cucumber or just with seaweed. Um, and if I'm at a Chinese restaurant, I'll ask them to steam the vegetables instead of sauteing them because they tend to use a lot of oil. Um, Another example, if I want a burger, I'll get the burger without the bun and I'll have a salad on the side instead of fries.
Yeah, those are all great tips. And I love what you said too about the animal protein, like the meat or the seafood, that they usually when you go to a restaurant, they're actually giving you double the size of what you really need. So a portion's about 3 to 4 ounces. So yeah, those are great dishes to split. And then you can always find plenty of veggies. Just get a bunch of different sides or salads or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any favorite restaurants here in the city in New York?
Yeah, I have so many. It's hard to choose just one, but I'm a big fan of Maria.
I love that place.
It's so good. And when I'm there, I'll eat pasta just because they make the best like homemade gluten-free pasta and you have to have
Oh my
it.
God, I didn't know they made homemade gluten-free
Yeah.
pasta.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's literally like our spot with my boyfriend. We always go and we always have the same pasta, the one with the crab and uni in it. Really good. I also like Cipriani downtown. I love Catch so much because they really, really can tailor the way you want to substitute stuff. So, it's so easy to ask them to have a branzino with cauliflower rice instead of basmati rice. They do that. And they have amazing side dishes. They have so many good appetizers. Another one I really like is capo masa. They do the same thing there where they can wrap the sushi in cucumber, which is great. So those are a few.
Yeah, and I think that's a good reminder that you can ask for substitutions. If you see something on the menu that you would like but maybe needs a few tweaks, most restaurants, I would say probably 90% of them
Yeah.
at least, are willing to make the substitution or change for you.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had someone say no, really, for
Exactly.
something like that.
Right. What are your thoughts on alcohol? I know you're famous for your Nedi martini, which I just had recently.
Yeah.
So how do you fit? First of all, can you tell us what the Nedi martini is, and then how do you fit
Yeah.
alcohol into a healthy lifestyle?
So the Nedi Martini has vodka with muddled cucumber, muddled lime, and muddled mint and a splash of lime. And honestly, I would tell the waiter to say that you're diabetic to make sure they don't add any sugar. Because you and I went together to Zuma and we ordered these Nedi martinis for the whole table. We're 8 girls and they bring out the martinis and I tasted and I could tell there was something sweet in it. Although it was good, it was sweetened. And the waiter said, no, there's absolutely nothing. This is how I ordered it. And I said, did you tell the bartender I'm diabetic? And he was like, oh no, let me go have a double check. And then the manager came over apologizing to all of us, sent us all new martinis. So I don't know why they like tend to get creative and like add a splash of simple syrup or something, which is not cool at all. So I would be very specific, just vodka, muddled mint, muddled cucumber and a splash of lime juice, no sugar.
Yeah, I think, well, because most people like the taste of sugar, and
Yeah.
probably the bartender is tasting it, and he's like, "Oh my God, this doesn't taste right. It should taste sweeter, right? Because most cocktails are very sweet." But it was pretty incredible because it came over, and it really was not very sweet at all.
The mint adds a little bit of sweetness.
But like she knew right away. She's like, "Nope, there is sugar in here," and sure enough, there was.
Yeah, I knew it. So I think, you know, again, you should balance it out. If you're drinking, don't be out, drinking every single night. But if you're going out, I would say stick to wine or a simple cocktail like that instead of mixing sugary drinks or a lot of other martinis, like an apple martini or a lychee martini can have so much sugar, and then it's just pointless to have that.
Yeah,
And then you're not gonna have a big hangover either.
right. Do you get hangovers often or no? Not really.
Sometimes if I have too many martinis and if I mix with wine or something, then it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, and do you have any tips or tricks for dealing with that?
Oh man. Um, I would make probably like something with eggs the next day. I love scrambled eggs with GGs and some smoked salmon and avocado, something that has healthy fats in it and that will absorb the alcohol.
Yeah, totally. And lots of water, I'd assume.
Oh my God, lots of water.
I always tell people, I'm like, when you're going out, try and stick to two max if possible, but always drink 1 glass of water before and after every cocktail or every drink, just because alcohol is dehydrating.
Yeah. And it's great to take milk thistle too after a night of drinking. Clean out the liver.
Do you take that as just like a pill or a tea?
So you can take it in a form of a pill, or you can also use drops to put into your tea. I prefer the capsule because it's just, I don't know, easier.
So let's talk about traveling. You also travel a ton.
Yes.
So we want to hear about all of your healthy travel tips. And let's start with, how do you stay healthy on a flight?
Okay, so I always pack my own food. It doesn't matter if you're flying like economy, business, or first class. I think packing your own food is so important because most airlines tend to use a lot of artificial ingredients and just the food doesn't taste right. And if you think about it, I mean, how fresh can it be? So for me, like I'll either make 4 GG sandwiches. I mean, 4 GG crackers, so 2 sandwiches all together. And I'll pack a salad. I usually do iceberg lettuce because it's crunchy and it doesn't really wilt. And I'll do cucumber, avocado, maybe some grilled chicken. And I'll bring 1 lemon that's cut in half and I'll just squeeze it on top once I'm in the plane. So the salad doesn't get soggy. Another thing I really like to bring with me is raw Rev bars. They're amazing. I don't know if you've tried them, but they're gluten free and they're vegan and they're raw, high in fiber, high in protein, low in net carbs. So it's for me the best fiber bar out there on the market right now.
Do you know what's in them? Like what are they made from?
I don't have one on me, but I'm not
It's probably
sure.
like,
It's like peanut butter and
yeah, like probably like nuts and seeds
they
kind of
have a
thing.
few chocolate chips in there. My favorite is the peanut butter dark chocolate chip flavor. But they're really, really good.
Yeah, anything peanut butter dark chocolate chip is
I
gonna taste
know.
good.
And it actually kind of tastes like you're having, a chocolate bar in a way, like a treat. So it's amazing for dessert, and you don't have to feel guilty about it because they're actually healthy.
Yeah. So that's a great tip. I mean, I travel a ton too, and I'm always bringing my own food as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's so much better because yeah, airplane food is particularly bad. So that's good. And then sometimes on shorter flights, I'll actually try not to eat. Like I'll just eat before I go on the flight. Do you ever do that? Like if it's like maybe a 2 or 3 hour flight, anything less than like I'd say 4 hours, I'll try and eat before I go on the
Yeah,
flight and then just not eat on the flight.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and what about once you get there? How do you stay healthy once you're in a new or different destination?
So I always try to find something ahead, and I actually love being on Instagram, and I'll just Google or not Google the location, but if I'm staying at a hotel, like I'll just look at the link and see what's around there and see what other people have tagged. And I don't know, from one place I'll go to another and just kind of like explore the area. So I love doing my research before I go somewhere. And yeah, I would say Instagram is like a big help
Yeah, for
with
sure.
that.
And I think researching is a big it was a great thing to do too, because then you don't feel so stressed once you get there. You're like, at least you have a couple places that you think could be good. And then I think sometimes, when you get on the ground, then you could always ask at the hotel, right?
Exactly. The concierge usually knows. One time I was in Paris trying to find a green juice. This was like a few years ago. I think they have more options now. But like 5 years ago, there was no green juice places anywhere. So I remember I took a driver from the hotel and we were driving around and the guy was like trying to find me a green juice and we finally like went to some place that had juices and there wasn't that many greens, but I got whatever I could, like apple and cucumber and lemon. That was it, but it was still something.
That's so funny. Actually, that reminds me, I know you drink a lot of celery juice, right?
Yeah,
I always see that. I love celery juice, actually, celery and cucumber.
it's so good. You
Um,
had something this morning,
I
right?
did. I
Yeah,
had a cucumber and lemon juice this morning.
so good.
Do you drink the celery juice every day? And you want to talk a little bit about the benefits?
I don't drink it every day. I get so many questions on Instagram, and I'm not the one that came up with this. Like I was reading the medical medium. He recommends it for really resetting the digestive system, and it's really good for clearing out acne and if you have any gut problems or inflammation. I was doing celery with cilantro because I had high mercury levels. So I was doing that just simply for health reasons and for detoxifying. And some people were messaging me and they're saying, well, it's a juice, there's no fiber, like why are you drinking it? And that's not the point. I'm not trying to drink it and stay full. Actually, it doesn't keep me full at all. After 20 or 30 minutes I have breakfast. So I do it maybe like in a month I'll have 4 or 5 days where I do celery juice every single morning and then I'll take 2 3 weeks off and I'll do it again.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that you said that, like, where people are like, "Oh, it doesn't have fiber. Why are you, eating it?" I think we get so, or people just get so myopic with their viewpoint of something.
Yes.
Like, I posted avocado the other day, and I was like, "Oh, it's high fiber," because avocado is actually
It's so high
surprisingly,
fiber,
yeah, it's
yeah.
like about 8 grams of fiber,
Yeah, I think 8 to 10 grams in one avocado, which is a lot.
which is a lot, exactly. And so I was talking about, yeah, how avocado is, great source of healthy fats and fiber. And someone's like, oh, that's such a concentrated source of calories, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you do know that you need to eat food, like you need to eat calories. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just the calories that counts, it's the whole entire package.
Exactly.
So don't get fixated on just the grams of fat or just the calories or just whatever. And you have to look at the whole picture. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
all right, let's circle back to travel and let's talk about exercise. So, when most people are on vacation, they will use that as an excuse not to exercise, but I know you're always exercising no matter where you are. So, why is that important to keep it up, and how do you fit it in when you're traveling?
Well, for me, going to the gym is like a daily thing and a part of my every single day lifestyle. So I don't use that as an excuse. And I actually think that after I land, going to the gym can actually help just wake you up, feel better. You've been sitting and playing for so long if you're flying international. And I think it can also boost your mood and you get adjust to the time difference better. So that's one thing I always do if I fly somewhere. It's like I'll go to the gym and I'll try to book a personal trainer or even like going to the park for a long walk or just doing something. But being active really, really helps with jet lag.
Are there any fitness apps you like to use when you're traveling?
Yeah, so I love the Sweat with Kayla app.
I'm
It's
obsessed with that.
seriously, I know you use it too. I think it's one of the best workouts out there while you're traveling because you can do it in your room, you can do it in the hotel gym, and it's only 28 minutes long, and there's a different workout uploaded every single week, so you're not getting bored at all. And I've been doing it for about 2 years, and sometimes I have better workouts than when I train with a trainer, especially like if I'm in Greece, for example, in the summer. That's all I do. I've tried working out with a few trainers there, and it's just hard like to get to know someone at first and what they're like, and they think that I can't handle more weights or what it is, and I just don't have time to explain all that. I'm just like, I got 30 minutes. I'm gonna get down to business and do this. So it's really an amazing app, and I also like Melissa Wood Health's workouts. She just launched them all on her website, so I think you can yeah, you can just get them from her website, and everything is about 20 to 25 minutes, and you don't need any equipment. So that's another great workout that you can do directly from your room.
And is it like a specific type of workout? Like I know the Kayla is like high intensity interval
Yeah,
training.
so Kayla is high intensity and Melissa is low intensity. It's a mix of yoga and Pilates, and you can use your own weight.
So yeah, I love a nice 20 or 30-minute workout. I'm obsessed with the Kayla workout. I definitely bring that whenever I'm traveling. I always do it in the hotel gym, or I mean I even do it at home too because I have a gym in my
Yeah,
building, and it's just so much easier than going, of course I love going to classes and stuff like that, but then you waste all this extra time. And if I only have legitimately 30 minutes,
exactly.
I just go downstairs, do it in the gym, bang it out. And
Exactly. That's what I've been doing this week and last week because my trainer was busy, so he couldn't come to me, and I was like, you know what, that's totally fine. Like I'll do my own workouts.
right, totally. Yeah. So I think it's all about like having no excuses, right? Like that's what um,
Exactly.
I think, allows you to still have a social life and still travel and do whatever you want and live healthy at the same time. Is that you don't make excuses why you can't eat healthy. You figure out how you can and how you
But
can live healthy.
also, you should really listen to your body. If one day you're really exhausted and you're not feeling like working out, don't beat yourself up for that. It's okay to miss a day or two from the gym. It's like shouldn't be obsessive about it either.
I agree. It's never a good idea to obsess over anything, and especially not your diet or when it comes to your health and how you're taking care of it. So, I personally don't feel like I obsess over things. I definitely have in the past, probably when I first started this healthy eating thing 10 years ago, but now I definitely don't obsess over it, and I don't think you do either. Yet, we still both manage to maintain a very healthy life and a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. It's not what you do once in a while that's going to really affect your health. It's what you do majority of the time. So that's where that 80-20 or 90-10 rule comes in. As long as majority of the time you're living your healthiest life, the other 10-20%, it's not going to make a big difference. All right, circling back to jet lag, which you brought up, I know you mentioned that exercise is a great jet lag remedy, but is there anything else you do when you're feeling jet lagged?
Um, at night or in the afternoon, I would book a massage if you want to go down to sleep early and depending, if you're flying from New York to LA or if you're flying from New York to London, it's different. But I usually go New York, London a lot. So if I'm in London, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at 10 p.m. like I do here because they're 5 hours ahead. So I would be staying up. So I tend to book massages in the evening and somebody to come to me. And after that, I can go to sleep more easy. And sometimes I'll take a melatonin because that's all natural, or have a chamomile tea, something like this.
Yeah, I've known about melatonin for so long, but I'm someone who sleeps very easily, so I've never really needed it. And even with the jet lag, I don't know, I've always adjusted very easily, but lately like the past year or two, I'm finding it very hard. I will be literally wired and up for like 24 hours sometimes with jet lag. So melatonin really really helps, and it's just a spray that you put under your tongue. It's really nice. Besides food, what lifestyle components do you think are important? Obviously, exercise, but what other lifestyle components are important to health for you?
So I've gotten into meditating this year and I really like it. I think it's so important. It kind of keeps you grounded, and I use the Calm app. I don't know if you've tried that one. Some of the passages that they have is just like so relaxing and so meaningful, and they're about 10 to 15 minutes long, so it's pretty quick, and I think everyone can find 10 minutes out of their day to squeeze it in. And that's also another great tip, like when you're flying or if you want to wind down at the new destination to chill you out, it's a great way.
Do you have a meditation routine where you'll do it every day, or is it more something you'll do once in a while, like when you're stressed?
I do it almost every day, not every single day, but I like to do it when I go to bed in the evening. Some people like to do it in the morning. It depends.
I try to meditate every day, but it doesn't always happen, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I find a lot of people have resistance to meditation for some reason, even myself included. When I was first introduced to it like years ago, I was kind of like, I don't really want to sit there for 10 minutes doing nothing. Any words of wisdom to kind of help people get over that fear or that resistance to meditating?
Well, I think if you're using a guided meditation, that's a big difference than if you're just sitting there for 10 minutes and with your own thoughts. Because if you're doing guided meditation, then you're essentially listening to someone with a very calm voice, guiding you through it and talking about happiness or gratitude or stress, some topic that you choose from the app. And it's very meaningful, and you're just sitting there like really listening. You're like, wow, this is amazing. And then you do like 10 minutes of that, and I usually fall asleep right after.
Yeah. So meditation is definitely worth it. So yeah, the Calm app. Someone else, actually, I just had Dr. Rob Graham on, and he also recommended the Calm app as well.
It's
So,
amazing, yeah.
and any other lifestyle factors that you think contribute to our health?
I think also spending time with your loved ones. For me, that's so meaningful. Like I love being with my mom, my grandma, laughing, cooking together. Like those moments you are going to treasure forever. And for me, that is a part of having a healthy lifestyle.
For sure. And I think that's something sometimes people forget. Again, it's also, I think, a cultural thing because in America, we're very, obviously people are close with their families, but it's still a more independent society. And for me, traveling a lot abroad, I see how community centric a lot of different cultures are. And it is more about family and relationships and making sure that you're having dinner together and you're hanging out and doing things together very often. Whereas I think here, especially in big cities, sometimes people live alone, they eat alone, they just get used to doing everything alone, but really having good relationships and nourishing and nurturing those relationships is so important. Have you read The Blue Zones? Have you read that book? No. So Blue Zones is a book by Dan Boitner, and he wrote about basically the different communities across the world where people very commonly live to 100 years of age or more.
No.
And one of the main factors, or one of the common factors amongst all these different countries or communities rather, is that they do eat a healthy whole food Mediterranean style diet, but they also have really good family relationships and bonds and friendships, and they believe that's one of the factors why they live so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So last question, what is one tip or piece of advice that you'd give people to live a happier and healthier life?
Okay, that can be tied in with the previous question in a way. I honestly think spending time with your loved ones is the best thing you can do. And my grandma recently got sick with depression, and we've had a very hard time like dealing with that. And oh, sorry. But for me, like that's so important because you never know, when your loved one can go. So you want to like hold on to them and spend so much time with them and treasure every single moment because nothing else matters but your family or, your boyfriend or whoever you're with.
Right. I love that.
So live your life. Don't have any regrets, have a piece of cake if you want to and just enjoy.
Yeah. I love that. Very well said. And I really appreciate all that you do, and you are so caring. I love seeing your grandma on Instagram also.
Thank you.
She's so cute. And your mom.
I'll be with her in less than a month, so
Oh, nice.
she'll be in all my stories.
Yeah, and it's so nice. I mean, it's really nice to see that, that you guys all doing things together and cooking together. And yeah, I really just love what you share, and I appreciate what you do and helping make the world a healthier place. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And where can people find you on Instagram? That's a great place, at Healthy with Nedi. And also healthywithnedi.com has a ton of great recipes and a ton of great content.
Exactly.
Totally. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in this week. If you enjoyed and got value from this episode, I'd be so, so grateful if you can take just 1 minute to leave an honest review on iTunes, as that will help us reach more people and get incredible guests on the show. To say thank you, email a screenshot of your review to info@mariamarlowe.com and we'll send you a free 3-day healthy eating sugar detox meal plan. After each and every episode, I encourage you to come say hi on Instagram at Maria Marlowe, that's MariaMarlowe, or in the private Happier and Healthier podcast group on Facebook. In both of these places, we can continue the conversation about today's episode, so come and share what you think. If you want more, you can also head to mariamarlowe.com, where you'll find tons of healthy recipes, meal plans, and resources to help you live your healthiest and happiest life. Lastly, if there's someone you know who'd enjoy this podcast, make their day, and mine, and send it to them now. Until next time, don't forget, health and happiness are a choice. Our thoughts become our reality, so make sure you're thinking up a masterpiece.